Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. This is John with Tommy's Top Picks, here to bring you last update for the card review of the Icelander cards that are come out. This is part of the Hype Train series, I guess we'll call it. It's essentially just talking about how exciting these cards are and some of the implications of it. I don't think there'll be too many more of these unless they do another set of these for one of the other heroes. There's some interesting bits that just dropped that I think are very hype, and I'm very interested in thinking about. This will be first impressions. Tomorrow, after the stories come out, I will come back and give a deeper, thoughtful kind of dig into what the implications of the cards are and the things that are important to note. We'll touch on a few of them today, but we'll dig in deeper tomorrow. So we already went over the first set. As we said before, there's a cycle here. This is a token, so available in Commoner. We got another aura that's blue, so it's like the other channels, which is awesome. And then there's this new feature called Freeze. So you'll see these things, this pattern repeated elsewhere, so I just wanted to point that out. You got her first specialization, which is a double X card to drop in Frostbite tokens, and if you're able to fuse it as well, then you will do extra damage. Note, if you're pulling this from Arsenal, you can theoretically do it on your opponent's turn, which can be super annoying because then they have to deal with the arcane damage and the Frostbite tokens all at the same time. And as you'll see in a second with Frost Hex, that can also add even further damage to it. Could be quite annoying. Also allows you to max it out because you'll be able to fuse. You'll theoretically be able to use 3 blues, using it for 4 and 4, making 4 tokens and fusing and pulling off everything, which would be pretty gross and painful for your opponent. I don't see that happening a lot, but it's one of those things that's interesting and worth thinking about. There might be a way to build some cool tech around this card. Specialization. What a shock, right? That's how they work. This one is not ridiculous, but cheap. And blue, which are both very good things for her. Also an Ice Fusion. I think one of the things you're going to see is a lot of Ice Fusion capabilities are going to be important for her, and it will be important to build around them. I don't know if you go so far as to say like a 50-50 split of fusible and ice, or if you kind of mix it up. I imagine mixing it up because historically when you just follow the pattern of everything that's lightning or everything that's earth, right, it just doesn't work. It's better if you kind of hybrid a little bit into other things, but we'll have to wait till we see the whole set and what else is out there. I mean, there could be some killer generics, there's just we don't know yet, right? It's too early. But cool thing about this one, it's a common, so it will be a cycle. So you'll have a 0 cost 3 arcane damage card. I'm assuming the damage is what modifies. It makes the most sense. And then if it's fused, deal damage to the and deals damage to the hero, freeze a card in their arsenal. So this is anti-arsenal, which is good with. I think that would be good against Seeds. I think it's definitely good against the Rangers. And it's generally good against any of those big explosive turns, such as Viscerai, where he's got his Arsenal card. You can kind of slow him down from his mega combo, that sort of thing. And remember, all this in context of it being a CC available hero too. So this changes the dynamic of the meta, just where we are so far, and we'll dig in more tomorrow. But anyways, another Icelander specialization. This one's great in my opinion. It stays on the battlefield. It's a new type, an Affliction Aura, which means it's an aura you put on your opponent, and which is kind of weird because Channel Lake Frigid's kind of like a Affliction Aura too, but that doesn't have this class, and neither does this other channel one up here. It's just an aura. So it's interesting that they decided to make this differentiation. We'll figure out why, I'm sure, as the set comes out and we get more details about the different things. But regardless, Icelander specialization stays on the battlefield, cannot remove it. It doesn't have Spectra. There's no way to get rid of this except for any sort of aura removal, which I think is only... No, because it's under your control. I don't think there's a way to get rid of this right now. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. There might be one. Regardless, at the beginning, Frostbite tokens you control have, and you being your opponent, because remember you're giving it to the opponent, at the beginning of your end phase, this deals 1 arcane damage to you. So you know how they pop at the end of the phase? Well, now they pop like the Viscerai Rune Chant tokens, right? They pop and do 1 damage, which is pretty cool. Very cool in combo with this, especially if you're doing this on their turn. It becomes very annoying because you have the tax or take damage situation, and you're potentially putting 4 out. So when you do 4 of them, and then you're going to be taxed 4 resources, which is incredibly painful for your hand and resource efficiency. And or you take 4 damage from, well, you'll take 4 damage coming in with this if you fuse it, and then you'll take 4 damage at the end of turn when they pop. So it's a pretty nasty combo to be able to do 8 damage like that and disrupt them all at the same time. And then you're looking at this and you're saying, oh, I have to pitch to pay my null rune to stop that arcane damage. Now I have to pitch to pay extra just to cover it, or I'm going to take more damage. Like, it's one of those situations that puts you in a tough spot and can be game ending if this is towards the end of the game where, you know, it's very difficult. You have to balance all these needs out. Very interesting. Hypothermia, another affliction aura. Attacks you control can't gain go again. Now, Tommy pointed something very interesting out with this in the podcast. It's gain go again. So think about things that do already have go again. They will be immune to this. So like Ninja, we were talking about, has a lot of attacks that have go again by default. Not many other out there. There are a few. There are a handful, like your East. Well, no, I think E-Strike gains go again, doesn't it? Because you choose a mode. Ravenous Rabble? I think that's the only one that I can think of off the top of my head. There's probably a few others, but not many other than Ninja. So mostly Ninja is immune to this card. Everyone else, it's going to be a pain. It's going to bother them. It only lasts the 1 turn, though, so you want to play this from... yeah, I mean, as an Icelander character, I guess it doesn't matter. You play it in the beginning of their turn, and it messes up their turn, and that's it, and then it goes away. These are the very hype parts in my mind. So first one, Ice Action Cold Snap. This art is amazing. Good God. So cool. Target hero may pay 1 resource. If they don't, freeze a card in their arsenal or an ally they control until the start of your next turn. If Cold Snap is played from Arsenal, which you will want to a lot with Icelander, draw a card. So that's nasty. It freezes, it taxes or freezes, and it gives you a card draw, and yeah, that's great. And it's, I guess, go again probably won't come into play that often unless you play it on your turn. Which, yeah, Icelander does do that sometimes. This makes me think there might be something to the combat Icelander. Someone was talking about using the ice attacks, right, and fusing and that sort of stuff as a staple or a package within the deck in CC, which might work. There might be some viability there. Worth noting, talking about allies here, and then this one says to any target. I know some people have talked about this already, but it's worth noting that this is adjustment in language that leans towards PvE, leans toward there being more allies, potentially. So maybe we get that Necromancer people have been hoping for in this set. An Ice Necromancer? I don't know. I'm not sure. It would be interesting, though, and it's something worth thinking about, and you know, it's worth wondering further, because this is talking about an ally, too. So now it's looking like allies are a thing that are going to happen more. There's going to be multiple targets on the field, not just the opponent. So, interesting. Biggest type of all. The biggest type of all. Oh. It cuts off too much. All right, well, cost 2, it pitches for 1, so it's a red, and it is a Draconic action attack. So in the Discord, a lot of people were speculating about Draconic because of the alphabetical structure of how the cards are put out, right, in a set. And if you look at the numbers, Icelander's up at like 102 or something like that, and she's an elemental wizard. So E is up all the way at 102. So what could be before her? Probably 2 different characters. We're thinking it's like Mon, right? 2 different characters, probably both Draconic in nature. So we'll have like a Draconic wizard, right? That would come right before her, and maybe a Draconic warrior, such as Kasai, who's from Valkor and is part of the Draconic royal family. So is Kano. That would make sense. This Draconic as both of them, and those. So you'd have probably Draconic warrior, Draconic wizard, and in between would probably be like Draconic, not Draconic warrior. It'd probably be like maybe some Draconic cards in general, right? So you'd have the like talent grouping, and then maybe some straight up warrior cards. And those would come at the end probably. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how it'll break up, but I'm thinking it's kind of like Mon, which if you remember, there's like 14 piles. Like if you're breaking it out by all the things, the talents and whatnot, so that it breaks out a lot if there's 4 heroes. Now, there's a lot we don't know, but it does feel like this is leaning into the fire versus ice sort of battle. It is considered an uprising. Icelander's story clearly says she's coming to mess up the royalty here. She is not a fan. And, fire versus ice makes total sense for that sort of situation. And we know, this is the other thing, if you take a look at this border is Kano's specialization borders. It's the same style. So this all but confirms that Kano is one of them, and he's probably Draconic Wizard. And he'll probably have, fiery specializations. Well, clearly, look at this one. It's called Thaw for one. While Thaw is in your graveyard at the start of your turn, you may banish it and choose one of the following. Destroy a target Frostbite token, destroy a target Ice Affliction, so that's those auras, right? Unfreeze. Okay, so this actually removes that one. Yeah, actually, that's interesting. This is the removal for the specialization of Icelander. Interesting. And then unfreeze target frozen card. Now, note, it has to be in your graveyard already, and then you banish it, so it's only a one-shot deal. It does swing for 6, which is a crazy high amount, and it's very interesting that this is an attack. It feels very much not Kano, right? This could be a warrior thing. I'm not sure. We'll find out soon enough. Maybe there's a brute? Wow, Draconic Brute. What would that look like? Because it's a 6 attack. Ooh, that would be exciting. What would a Draconic Brute be? Oh man, I hope that's what it is. That would be wild. And that would come in the beginning of the set, Draconic Brute. And then you'd have the Draconic actions in there. And then you'd have maybe Draconic Wizard, Kano stuff. Then you'd have Elemental Wizard. And you have the Ice Pile. And then whatever the other character is. Ooh, very exciting. Just some early speculation, a lot of hype. I'm having fun with this. I can't believe they're putting this out so early. I love it. I like this approach. This seems better than a spoiler season that lasts a week right before the fact. I hope they pace these and we get a little bit, over the next couple of months before the set comes out, every couple of weeks, because this seems like a great way of doing it. 5 days to speculate, look at, and wonder about. But like I said, we'll take a look at it. You can see the Draconic is at 086, so it is before, so it is that alpha order that we're talking about. So that's very interesting. Maybe it's Brute in the beginning. Brute powers, Draconic powers, Draconic Brute, something like that. Yeah. This is very interesting. I am super curious. I hope this set is very fun to draft. It seems like it's building up some really cool and interesting stuff around Icelander, which I'm a fan of. So that is it for now. I thought I'd share. I thought you might enjoy this. And like I said, tomorrow after the stories come out, I'll review those, take a look at them, and then talk about, what we can conclude from the various details. Some of it we covered today, but I do want to dig in a little deeper and see if we can sort out kind of what the set might look like based on what we have. Anyways, I hope you guys are having fun cracking packs and playing games. I am excited. Until next time, have a good one.